What's going on, guys? We are talking about 4 big-time breakouts for Fantasy Football 2025. Yes, it's near the end of February, but we do not stop here for fantasy football content. We go year-round. If you're new to the channel, you want winning advice. Winning advice meaning no copy and paste BS, or the real advice for fantasy football to actually win your leagues. Hit the subscribe button, tap it, slap it, turn on the bell, and drop a comment below. Give me a breakout below. I want to make this interactive. I love making these interactive, but it's very important, guys. It helps the channel. Hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate it as I'm delivering here on this Saturday morning, getting this video for you, probably for an afternoon release. But regardless, I'm out here in the off season on my weekend talking fantasy with you guys, sharing the passion. So hit the thumbs up, drop a comment. Let's make it ultra interactive. We're going to go through these 4 breakouts that I like for Fantasy Football 2025. It's going to be an exciting year. There's going to be so many things happening, but I don't release 16 rounds till after the NFL draft. That's when the first version comes out, but you could pre-order it, get into the course, you get your login, you get set up. 16 rounds, I've linked it below. Get in right now, create an account, all that, you're all set up, and then the first release of 16 rounds where I release all the optimal players drafted in each round comes out the second week of May, 2 weeks, pretty much just after the draft. 2 weeks after the draft is when it comes out. That's when I know where the depth charts fall and who to draft when, okay? So grab 16 rounds, you can pre-order it right now. All right, let's talk about these 4 sleepers. The first guy I got here is Ricky Pearsall. Now, what I like about this guy is his draft capital. This guy was a first-round pick. He didn't play a lot. He only had, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns? Like, that's not enough, right? 31 receptions, only 11 games. This guy was shot in the chest, and he still came back. I mean, that is resilience. Like, this guy fought for his life and survived, and he comes back and still plays. Like, that alone is huge. We got high draft capital. We have Ayuk, who is way overrated. I told you, again, this is why you got to get 16 rounds, because I was the only one telling you. Everyone else was telling you to draft based on ADP. Don't draft Ayuk. Don't draft Deebo Samuel. Both of these guys were coming off end of round 2, pretty much mid to mid round 3. That's where these two were coming off of. I'm like, who's the wide receiver 1? You guys don't even know, and you guys are essentially guessing. And that's what I hate about these copy and paste rankings. They're not out to help you. They're just basically copying and pasting from last year, guessing. You don't draft on ADP. You draft the best players at that ADP. Does that make sense? So I like Ricky Pearsall. Ayuk, again, that knee injury, season ending. We don't know what's going on with Deebo. He's a cut candidate, way overrated. I heard he put up like 20 pounds or something like that. Jennings is there. He was kind of the top receiver last year on the team, but we're talking about a guy who's in his 5th season. Years to wow us, we're not wowed. He sucks. He was like a 7th round pick. So he doesn't excite me. I would assume that if they ship Deebo off, I don't even know what's going to happen with Ayuk. He's not even that good. And this was the guy that was crying the entire offseason, man. Pay me like $1 bazillion. Dude, you're overrated, right? And then he gets hurt. What a joke. And I told you he was overrated. So, yeah, well, injuries do count. If you're not on the field, you suck. Imagine they spent $20 million, $30 million a year on him. Man, that would have been a waste of money. Ayuk's overrated. Back to Pearsall. I think there's some upside. I think he's got some breakup potential. He's definitely primed for more volume. Things are going to open up on that depth chart for him to get more volume and targets. But again, what does he have? 31 receptions, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 11 games after getting shot with just trying to figure out their depth chart. So there could be something there. We got to take a look at his ADP, okay? As we get close to the season. Number 2 is Ben Sinnott here, or Sinnott. I call him Snot, Ben Snot, but they call him Ben Sinnott, Sinnott. Listen, Ertz and Bates, they're there, but they're pretty much, I think, hitting free agency. Ertz is like 100 years old. He was a top target getter last year. He had like 91 targets for Ertz. That means that something's got to move over to Sinnott, a.k.a. the top tight end there, probably this year. This guy was a 2nd-round pick, dudes. Like, 2nd-round pick. He was awesome in college, 6'4", 245 pounds. The guy can catch, the guy can run. He just never got the opportunity last year. And here's the nice thing. He's with Jaden Daniels, an up-and-coming, amazing, potentially amazing quarterback in the NFL. I like him. I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan as a player. Like, I'm not really a Commanders fan for that matter. But I really do like Jaden Daniels' talent. So, I mean, there could be something here, man. Ben Sinnott, I was on him a little early last year. I thought he was a big-time sleeper for last year. Unfortunately, he didn't get the volume and the playtime that I thought. Well, very unfortunate, but I think there's something there, especially with Bates and Ertz. If they get shipped off, which I think they may, then boom, in comes a breakout opportunity for Ben Sinnott, okay? I got two more amazing breakouts here for you that you definitely want to target, and they're great value right now. Before I get into that, head over to mybookie.ag, use code FFC right now. You got a 50% match deposit. Well, why would I sign up for MyBookie right now? Football is done. We're in the offseason. Guys, there's tons of stuff. There's UFC, there's hockey, there's baseball, there's tons of boxing events that come up. Why don't you enhance that game watching experience? MyBookie.ag, the code you want to use is FFC. Go create an account, get set up. And once you have that account there, you're set up for when the NFL season starts. There's also props and stuff for like the NFL draft. So you get in right now, mybookie.ag, go create an account. Who do you think is going to come off when? I think you could pretty much get in on anything. So mybookie.ag, the code you want to use, FFC, go create an account right now, okay? All right, let's go. Two more for you guys. And again, drop a sleeper below. Let me know who you guys, a breakout below. Let me know who you guys think. Okay, I talked about this guy in my sleeper episode, but I'm going to talk about him again, is Marvin Harrison Jr. Finished 30th in fantasy, currently sitting around 27th amongst wide receivers on the kid sheets. Again, the copy and paste. Why do I love him? And some people were in the comments for my sleeper episode. I talked about him. Bad offense. You can't trust Kyler. I can't trust Kyler. No. But when I look at the volume here, listen to this. 116 targets last year, 62 receptions, 860 plus yards, 8 touchdowns. All right. 116 targets. He just needs to catch more of those. 62 receptions. Maybe that's just the rookie jitters. We want to bring the receptions and the volume of the targets up, which I think is going to happen. I definitely think he's going to crack that 1,000-yard receiving mark and double-digit touchdowns. From the 8 to 10, that's pretty much easy. Now, again, he's got to get more established in his role, more rapport with Kyler Murray. Again, they've got no one else there. And I am not a Kyler Murray fan. I'm just not. But when you look at a guy who is sliding in to be the one, who's in there to be the one, there's really no competition there. And his volume only goes up this year. It's just really, really appealing to me. I'm like, why not take a chance on Mr. Marvin Harrison Jr., who is top-tier talent, and you had to spend a second-round pick on last year. Now you can get him after what? Around 5-6 for a wide receiver one with amazing talent. Why not? Right? 116 targets. We're going to see that come up, and that could be exciting, okay? The next guy here, there's a caveat here to this guy, is Chase Brown. My thing is, what was he, like he's a 5th-round pick when he was drafted, heading into his 3rd season, had a great season last year, 229 attempts, 990 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns, 54 receptions, right? 4 receiving touchdowns. Like, this guy was getting it done all around. The problem I have here, especially when I'm talking about these guys in the offseason, is that when you talk about a guy who's a 5th-round pick, even a 4th-round pick guy, it seems like the teams don't believe in him. And this is a really good running back class, right? I can imagine the Bengals picking up another running back, and there's going to be a serious competition where one of these rookies could come in and overtake Chase Brown. I think Chase Brown's really good. I just don't see him like that. Who had crappy Zach Moss? Everyone's like, Moss boss. They drafted him ahead of Chase last year. I was like, no, Moss is just a fake. He's a pretender. I don't think he played the whole season last year. But here's the thing, right? When you look at a guy like Chase Brown, yeah, as of right now, it looks good. He had a good year last year, but I just don't believe a team the caliber of the Bengals are going to invest a lot of money in Jamar Chase. I think he wants north of $40 million a year. I don't think they're going to keep Chase Brown as their RB1. I don't know. I could be wrong, but the way that it sits right now, if they don't bring in somebody else, and I think they will, Chase Brown is primed for an amazing year on a good offense, but I just don't know if they believe in a 5th-round pick being their RB1. It's almost like an ego thing or something. No matter how well a 5th-round pick running back does, it's like they don't believe in him. I've noticed this with teams and trends all the time for fantasy. You get excited about a player having a decent year the year before, and then after that, like nothing, like they just kind of fizzle off. They're like, and Algier is a perfect example of that. He was like a 4th-round pick, right? Perfect example. Tyler Algier, right? You guys are all excited about Chase Brown, and I am too, right? But you got Tyler Algier, who had this 1,000-yard rushing season, but he was never that good. He's a 4th or 5th-round pick, and they brought in Byjan. So it's the same type of thing with Chase Brown. I love him. I think he could have a great season, but I just think they're going to bring in somebody else that could be better with a higher draft capital coming out of this 2025 loaded RB class, right? It's going to be exciting to see who they bring in, but it's going to be unfortunate for Chase Brown. That's my prediction here. But again, it's February, very, very early, okay? So those are 4 breakouts here for you. Make sure you guys pre-order a 16-round draft solution. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to keep the fantasy content rolling for you. And make sure you guys drop a breakout below. Lion mentality, keeping the truth coming to you. Appreciate you guys. Have yourself an outstanding day. I'm out.